Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You got the Pokemon Professor here, and today I'm bringing you my matchup for the Week 3 pool, Game 3 of the Luxury Pool for BBR Summer Scramble. Now going into this, both myself and my opponent in Diet Tight have won both of our previous games, so we're automatically locked in. Truth be told, that didn't really affect my team building because, I'm trying to win with some pizzazz. Whether or not I win on the whole tournament and I get my one free steak dinner, I've been on my Mr. Miyagi shit and trying to feed a man a fish he eats for a day, but in this case, feed a man a steak dinner he eats for a day. But if y'all get me to 1,000 subs, I'm eating a lot of steak dinners. So that was the mindset of going into this with the pizzazz. Never played Diet Tight, so pretty exciting to always play new people. And I think I got quite a build to hopefully catch my opponent off guard, win with some style points, and then win, So with that being said, trying to get my free steak dinners plural. So if you haven't already, drop a sub, man. But looking at his team, he's got the Iron Val, Terra Tornti, Tinglu, Azu, Hands, Bronzong, Swalot, and Misdreavus. And I quite frankly just expect the first 6. Swalot could come, try to absorb T-Spikes, try to set up T-Spikes, whatever. And the Misdreavus could come, whether it be Scarf or Violet Bulky or whatever. I say Violet, I don't think you could see a Violet boost because Fluttermane's a different mon. But could see it, or no, it goes into Mismagius, so it could still hold the Violet. I'm silly. But even that, it doesn't want to take something like a knockoff and then get pressured. So really just expecting the first 6, and that's what I built for. And the first one I'm bringing this week is my Elephant. Kind of bulky, kind of offensive speedy, running enough speed to outrun a max speed Misdreavus in case he does want to bring something like a choice set. If it wants to be specs, being able to get off some big hits on that could be really nice. If I get the +1 speed, I'm outrunning everything on his team and can fire off some big hits. I do have to watch out for something like a booster speed Iron Val. But outside of that, if I can weaken things like the Lu and the Azu, I think Elephant puts a lot of offensive pressure against my opponent. The Temper Flare is there in case he wants to switch Bronzong into something like Levitate Earthquake, being able to get that thing for some solid damage on the Temper Flare. And even if he scouts for it, it's going to hit a lot of stuff for some super effective damage. So I really like Elephant this week. Also, Heavy Duty Boot Spin. It could be something like Tinglu Hazard Stacking. That would be a pain in the butt. But the next mon I'm bringing, MC Hammer, holding the Air Balloon and Mold Breaker. Basically just a killer mon this week. The Air Balloon prevents something like the Tinglu for going for the Earthquake, and also the Hands from going for an Earthquake and picking up a KO. I have no speed investment, but I still outrun 4 out of the 6 mons. Right? So if I'm able to just invest that in HP like I did, if I get this SD up, nothing on his team wants to switch into MC Hammer. I need a little bit of chip damage off on the Bronzong, and then +2 knockoff picks up the KO, even if he is Colbur or he's already lost the item. So that could be really nice. And then Gigaton Hammer, it's going to bop the Tornti depending on its Terra, but I can't prep for every Terra. But it bops the Val, Azu, Play Rough hits the Tinglu, the Iron Hands, even the Tornti depending. And then of course knockoff, just get rid of items, consistent damage. But I really think that Air Balloon MC Hammer is going to do quite a bit of damage. I think it's going to be able to hopefully get up an SD on something like Tinglu as he goes for whatever kind of move to pop the balloon. I don't have to worry about spikes with it on the Air Balloon. So if he doesn't get up rocks, I'm still at full. And I just expect this thing to go in. +2, nothing wants to take the Gigaton Hammer. Even something like the Bronzong with the Gigaton into the knockoff, it's doing quite a bit. Swalot doesn't want to take it. Misdreavus, it applies a lot of offensive pressure. The next mon I'm bringing is Bruce Lee. Switching it up, going normal gym this time, I'm burdened. Normal gym fake out because this team looks a whole lot like D-Rays. It's got the Azu, it's got the Tornti, and I don't know if Homeboy watches my games or not, but I just wanted to switch it up some, try to show the versatility of Bruce Lee. So I'm going fake out normal gym, CC, P-Jab, and Blaze Kick. Basically hits everything on his team. Terra Water, if he is something like huge power on the Azu, I think D-Ray was the Sap Sipper, and from what I know, or what I've seen of Diet Tights games, Sap Sipper Azu is something that wouldn't be out of the norm for him. So if he's not huge power, we're going to be able to take those hits pretty well, and then hopefully just kind of run away with the game. If I get this speed boost off on the Bruce Lee, CC is going to be doing a lot of damage to a lot of mods. And then P-Jab picks up the KO on the Val, the Azu. Blaze Kick is there specifically for the Bronzong because it doesn't want to take a CC into Blaze Kick. And I am expecting Levitate over Heat Proof. And if he's Heat Proof, I've got the EQ on the Elephant, so I'm not as worried about it. Next one is going to be my Grandpa. Got the booster energy, enough speed to outrun the Torn T even after my booster energy is propped. With my booster energy, I can outrun the Iron Valiant. I do have max Spadef. What that does is allow me to take something like a Vacuum Wave. I think it was from like +1 timid, what's that thing? Valiant, sorry. In case he's booster speed and sets up a Calm Mind. And then Whirlpool, again, I'm trying to get some fucking pizzazz out here, dude. I do have the T-Spikes with Zaza, so I'm expecting something like T-Spikes and the Whirlpool with the combination of Protect to really shut down something like the Azu that could be AV as his initial switching. Could be something like a Spadef Ting Lu. I don't expect boots on that thing, so if I get the poison, I get the Whirlpool chip damage, I'm able to Protect. Maybe the difference in just being able to click Freeze Dry instead of the Hydro Pump and missing. It really just applies a lot of offensive pressure. The Whirlpool is going to be doing some consistent damage, trap something like the Torn T in to where he can't go for, a hard switch trying to conserve health. He clicks U-turn as I click Protect and just hopefully pick up a KO, a surprise KO, and deal with one of his more bulkier mons that way. So next mon, Zaza. Like I said, I want to get up T-Spikes. I don't really expect any kind of hazard control coming. He doesn't have any that I see because Torn T doesn't have defog. I do expect boots or something like that on the Torn T, so that's why I'm not bringing the rocks. But if I can get a T-Spike off on the Ting Lu, on the Iron Hands, on the Azu, even the Valiant, if that thing's Life Orb, it's going to be taking just chip damage. I've got the Protect and stuff like that. Running Mono Fire Blast this week. Basically, I expect this with my neutralizing gas and my Rocky Helmet, trying to be the switch in to the Azu. So Rocky Helmet is, if he goes for the knockoff, he knocks off the helmet. I'm expecting him to want to go into the Bronzong because it's such a free switch into a poison move. So I go for the Fire Blast. I'm able to taunt the Ting Lu, prevent that thing from getting up rocks and spikes. I'm able to prevent Bronzong from getting a Trick Room off. I outspeed all of those mons, and then I also have the D-Bond, so if I can prevent Ting Lu with the taunt from getting up rocks or spikes, I quick fast D-Bond the next turn as he's like, well, EQ is free, I might as well just pick up my KO, and then do a 1-for-1 kind of deal. I think that would be massive. Even a Destiny Bond on something like a Hands or an Azu or just whatever. If I can get a KO with Wheezing this week, that's it. That's the goal, baby. Speed, a little bit of special attack, and then my Spadef and defense just allow me to take hits from the Iron Hands a little bit better. I think it Wild Charge is a 2-hit KO at that point from Adamant 252. I can take like a defensive EQ from Ting Lu. I can take a Bleak Wind from Torn T, things like that. But my last mon, Miss Lily Lou. Running enough speed at +1, I'm going to outrun everything on his team. U-turn there for the Bronzong. Triple Axel trying to hit the Torn, trying to hit the Ting Lu. Zen Headbutt is there for the Iron Hands. And then Rapid Spin again, just hazard control. We don't really touch the Azu, but I'm expecting him to be something like an AV Sap Sipper, just kind of bulky. So I don't want to go for a grass type move and then that thing live and take a hit. Zen Headbutt's still going to be doing some damage. If I have the T-Spike up, it's going to be switching in. I can fast U-turn out. That may be enough to where Zen Headbutt, I have to risk a 50-50 and I get, I get the flinch, or if he's Sap Sipper, he's not anything like huge power, so I could take the hit fairly easy, even if he knocks off my AB. And it can just apply a lot of pressure. It can hit stuff pretty hard, and hopefully just be a nuisance for my opponent. But that'll be it for my Pool Game 3 team builder, and I will catch you guys in the match. Peace. Alrighty, welcome back to the match. So our opponent, Diet Type, Mr. Jason, he brings the first 6. Looking at this right before the match, he tells me that he is Terrafly Tornadus Therian. At this point, I realize I have absolutely 0 switch-ins to Terrafly Bleak Windstorm. And outside of that, you know, I had a game plan. I want to try to get up a T-Spike early on, and that's ultimately what I attempt to do. I'm going to lead my Zaza because he doesn't bring the Swallet, and I'm just hoping and praying that I get that T-Spike up and get some shenanigans going on. Hopefully he's not booster energy on the Iron Val, and once Bundle comes in, he's able to pressure out that Torn T and then revenge something like the Iron Val. So kind of expecting something like an Iron Hands or even a Tinglu for the lead. Could be Bronzong trying to get up rocks. But Diet Tide said, fuck that. I'm going to bring out my Terrafly Tornadus Therian because I too realize you have 0 switch-ins to a Terrafly Bleak Wind. And here I just realized, like, ooh, I'm kind of fucked. I'm kind of fucked. I got to lose Zaza early on. But I at least know I can take 1 hit unless he's something like Modest Specs or anything like that, if he's super invested on the Bleak Wind. But I got to do what I got to do. So I click the T-Spike, says he Terra, and he actually reveals to be Terra Blast. So it works out a little bit in my favor because he doesn't want to miss the Bleak Wind, so I'm actually able to live this hit, as you're about to see. So really nice, really nice. Get up my T-Spikes. And here's where I'm kicking myself in the dick. Looking at the team builder, like the first stages, I was wanting to bring Custap into the D-Bond, but my thought process was if I have to switch in Zaza because I didn't know what I was going to lead, if I have to switch in Zaza into something like a knockoff from Azu, truth be told, if you see the Custap, you're going to know some shenanigans are going on, whether that be Explosion or Destiny Bond. So I didn't want to show my hand too early on. But here is where showing my hand early on would have been fucking beautiful. Because if I could have gotten rid of this Terra Torn T, which I have 0 switch-ins to, that would have been awesome. But alas, hindsight is 50-50. And I got my glasses on, so now I can see. No, I don't fucking know. But ultimately, I'm just trying to decide, how do I work around this? This thing is a threat. And every time it comes in, it's pretty much claiming a KO. As you can see here, he reveals he's not choice locked in any way. He does pick up the KO on Weezing. He's going for the Heat Wave. Good play, not allowing in something like the Tinkaton, because I would have resisted the Terrafly. But granted, I didn't want to pop my air balloon. But here I realized, like, it's way too early to go into Bruce Lee. I don't want to lose my normal gym fake out. I wouldn't be able to survive the hit even if I just go Terra Water. So I have to go Grand Ball. I got to pop my booster energy. I know I'm faster than Torn T because he's not scarfed. And then I may just have to be able to force that Iron Valiant out later on and then outspeed it upon its regular switch in if he's not scarfed. I know I'm max speed F, so I know I can take a hit. But he has such free switch-ins. Like, he has something like the Bronzong. So I don't want to go for a freeze dry. I don't want to try to trap it in with a Whirlpool yet. I want to hopefully save that and maybe catch a thing off guard later on, like the Iron Hands, like the Azu. That may make the difference in going for, like, Protect Toxic Damage and Whirlpool and things like that. So I just go for the Hydro Pump. And he goes Bronzong. I am able to land, and I get some pretty decent damage off, right? He does reveal to be leftovers, which is nice as well. Because he's leftovers, I do think that I'm going to be able to get in my Lily Lou. One, I don't want to take an Iron Head or a Body Press. I'm pretty max Spadef bulky. I'm not doing too much with my Hydro Pumps. And again, I don't want to let Iron Bundle take as much chip damage this early on. It's a little bit too early to see how the game goes, right? So go out into my Lily Lou. I've got the AV. I know I could take something like a Psychic, an Iron Head, a Body Press, or whatever. I get it in. I can spin away rocks if he likes to go for rocks here. But he goes for the future sight. I guess good bring. He didn't think I was bringing the Incineroar. Now, because he's leftovers, I'm not bringing the knockoff, but I don't expect him to want to take a knockoff, especially because he showed me that Bronzong, just by the way he was playing, that's going to be his Iron Bundle switch in. I know I outspeed all the other mons, so even Ting Lu, as bulky as it is, if I'm able to get a Whirlpool off with the Toxic Spike up, a Hydro Pump may just pick up the KO depending. I know he doesn't want to take a knockoff if I had it. So I'm trying to decide, do I U-turn in on something like a Torn, trying to be aggressive, come back in, or do I just raw triple axle? I know I'm behind. If I go for the U-turn and he brings in the Torn T, I essentially am back at square one. I bring in my bundle, he switches Bronzong again, and it's just like a nickel dime scenario. So I said, fuck all that. I'm going to try to show him my dong. So I actually go for the triple axle. Because again, depending on his spread on the Torn T, if I land every hit on this triple axle, I could pick up a KO. And I've got to be aggressive. I've got to get some damage off on these things. And that's what he does. And more importantly, I can't let the fucking Torn T come back in because I have nothing for it. So I'm able to call it. I'm able to get some big old damage off on this Torn T. And I am so close to picking up the KO. So close. Enough that I can click U-turn confidently. If he wants to double to get his regenerator health back, so be it. I'm able to get the U-turn off and kind of go from there. If he wants to stay in and just go for damage, I know I can live the hit because I'm AV and get a U-turn off that way. So that's what I do. I'm able to get some big damage on the Torn T. I'm able to lose a lot of damage on my Serena, and we pick up a KO on that thing. It really sucks. I had to let Weezing go down completely. Lily took a lot of HP. I still have the Zen Headbutt, so I'm able to pressure the Iron Hands to a certain degree. But looking at it, I know I need MC Hammer to set up, because if I set up, I outspeed the majority of his team, and I can just apply pressure, right? I can, in theory, win with Gigaton Hammer and Play Rough hitting. But I have to pressure the Bronzong. So coming in, I know I can take the future sight with my Iron Grandpa, and I need this Bronzong to be chipped down. So I go for the Whirlpool, as he elects to go for rocks. He has the leftovers, so Whirlpool isn't doing as much as I'd like it, but I need this thing to just be gone. Like I need sorry I paused, but I need Bronzong to be gone. My win con at this point is going to be my Tinkaton. So I go for the Whirlpool to get the consistent damage, and then I just have to keep clicking Hydro Pump. And thankfully I land. I'm able to land. He goes for the rocks, goes for the Psychic, gets some big damage off, gets his leftovers back, things like that. And here, I know I let Iron Grandpa take a lot of damage, but I'm max HP on my Tinkaton. If I am able to take down this Bronzong, as you can see with this next Hydro Pump hit, I'm able to do. At this point, he is forced to go out into something like his Iron Valiant to revenge me. He could go Azu, but at that point, if he goes Azu, I have some mons that can hopefully apply pressure to it in the back, such as my MC Hammer. He would see that I'm Air Balloon, and he could choose to attack it and pop it, but he also doesn't want to take a Gigaton Hammer, so that may be my opportunity to set up. It really just depends. But he does go Val, and here I gotta let this thing go down. I have nothing else. He goes for a Vacuum Wave, so we do, he is special. He didn't show Booster Energy, so that's something to keep in mind. Didn't show Boots. So he also didn't show the Life Orb, sorry. So I'm expecting something like Specs or Scarf. No matter what, I feel like MC Hammer's my play. If he Specs, he's locked into Vacuum Wave, so I'm not taking as much. If he's Scarf, again, Vacuum Wave, and I know I need this thing to set up. So I click my SD here. This is it. Yeah, I just click my SD. I know if I set up, I get +2. He goes Ting Lu. He can take one play rough, but he's got to go for another move to knock off my air balloon or to pop it. And then at that point, another play rough would pick up a KO. Azu, depending if he's banded or if he's AV, Aqua Jet may not be able to pick up the KO, and you'd have to go Aqua Jet over Liquidation because we outspeed. So I'd be able to pick up the KO with Gigaton Hammer. I'd be able to pick up the KO on like max HP. I think Iron Hands as well with the play rough. So it's looking good. It's looking good for our hero. Truth be told. So he goes Ting Lu and big old monster, right? I get the T-Spike damage and I get my free SD. I'm able to pop that thing off. I'm sitting at +2. I have my air balloon. This thing is toxic, or poisoned rather. And so right here, I'm on my air balloon. I'm set up +2. I know that MC Hammer, one, if he doesn't have anything besides Earthquake, Ting Lu can't hit me. Now granted, he saw I was in an air balloon and he brought it in, so surely he has a move to hit, but I'm expecting something like Rock Slide. So in theory, if he misses, he doesn't break my balloon as well as doesn't get any chip damage off. So if I click play rough here, depending on his spread, I hit with 2 turns of poison and possibility of him missing, I could run away with the game. And even if he hits something like a Rock Slide or whatever, I resist the hit, I'm still at pretty full health. I outspeed every other mon on his team. He'd have to go Valiant and be Specs in some kind of random thing, and then try to revenge me with the Azu later on. But if he Specs and he gets that damage off, I'm able to pick up the KO with the Gigaton Hammer and really just force my opponent into a role to where I'm able to get more damage off on him before he's able to damage me. I'm able to play the sack game, you know? So I think at this point, I'm looking pretty good. I go for the play rough, possibility of picking up the KO, and I miss. And I miss. Now, granted, I did hit 2 hydro pumps earlier in the game, but, you know, a hit there would have been nice. In fact, I think a hit there may have just been game. So this is a very crucial turn in my opinion. It's like I've got 75% health on this Ting Lu. My air balloon is popped. I'm still sitting at decent health. So even if he's something like Scarf Liquidation on the Azu, or even if he's Scarfed on the hands, I think I'm still in a good position because it forces him into something. And if I pick up the KO here, he goes Valiant. He picks something like Specs. I don't even know what, T-Bolt, Aura Sphere, Moonblast, whatever that wants to run. I could still live the hit, possibly. And then I pick up a KO, right, with Gigaton Hammer. But the key is having to hit my play rough. And I don't. I missed 2 play roughs back to back. And he's able to pick up the KO with EQ. And that sucks. Like, there ain't no way around it, man. I named this guy MC Hammer. But fuck, MC Hammer at least had 1 hit. You know what I'm saying? Tinkaton had 0 hits. He had 0 hits. And I realized I don't have a way to win at this point. I really, really don't. I'm just trying to decide, like, how do I lower my differential? I'm not here to throw a fit and be like, well, I would have won, and this is such bullshit. Like, it's a game, first of all. It's a game. And more importantly, I had good prep. I put myself in a position to where, should I have hit my 90% accurate move the first time, I think I've won. And that's what it is. I think I would have won should I have been able to get that damage off. And should I have been able to bop the Ting Lu. And at the end of the day, I can hold my head high. I'm trying to win with some pizzazz. And whether pizzazz is memorable because I win with some cool stuff, or whether pizzazz is being memorable in losing in a specific way to where an Eggman or admin or whatever the fuck is like, you know, I won, but truth be told, that Tinkaton, that put on a lot of pressure. And that just, you know, I'm trying to talk myself through it. It sucks. It really, really sucked. But that's life. That's life, baby. So I go for the rapid spin at first because I know I'm going to have to try to outspeed the Val. My only hope is that he is Sap Sipper on the Azu and he's AV, but I don't have any damage off on this thing. So I'm trying to decide, like, how do I win this / prevent any kind of nonsense? Like, how do I keep myself in a position to win, or at least make it a roll, or like what gives me the best odds with a crit, or just anything. I go Lily Lou, expecting him to want to go for something like a jet and hoping I can get the Queenly Majesty off, and then I get something like Zen Headbutt and chip damage into a flinch with the Toxic, and I'm like, that could be my way, but he just clicks Liquidation and picks up the KO and really fucking shoved the dagger into my fate there. Because I was thinking, like, if he went for the jet, I go Lily Lou, it blocks Aqua Jet with Queenly Majesty. I go for his Zen Headbutt. I get one flinch. He's taken 3 rounds of poison damage at that point. I go for another Zen Headbutt. Even if he picks up the KO, then I at least have my Elephant to switch into the hands, to switch into whatever, and then I can use my Hitmonlee to fake out into P-Jab the Iron Vow. Because he's shown Vacuum Wave. If I go Tear Water, it's not hitting me for super effective damage. Now, it could be something like, I don't even know what, Thunderbolt, and then whatever, but with our Unburden, we outsped, even if he was Choice Scarfed. And yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize. I lost. I lost. Oh, I lost. But that's Mons, man. That is Mons. I bring in the Hitmonlee, go for the fake out here, and here he reveals to be Rocky Helmet. So good bring on his part, and gives me a little bit of chip damage myself, even though I'm able to go for the fake out and then Poison Jab the next turn. It is what it is. I know I can't break the Iron Hands from full at this point. So I play my differential game. I go for the fake out, and then I go for the P-Jab, and I think he goes jet for, no, he didn't even go jet. So he let me have that chip damage. He let me have the chip damage. So at this point, we are going to go to 2-1 in pool play. Like I said, we made the tournament, so not as big of a deal. I still wanted to win, and I gave it my all. So I'm still happy with the way I played. I played aggressive. I didn't let in Torn T on obvious switch in. I was able to, put my nuts on the fucking table. And here I just go for the Blaze Kick just to let him know I'm like that. I brought it just in case for that Bronze Song. But he's a double Rocky, and he just Drain Punches back up to full. And it was a good game. It really was. Can't be upset about it. And with this, we wait for the tournament. And I hope I played 2 Eggmans in my bracket. I hope I made a name for myself. I hope I have done good with my Hitmonlee in this tournament of Terra whatever. And I've had fun. So even if we lose first round, your boy has enjoyed himself. He's giggled along the way. But I will catch you guys for the tournament play and, help me eat steak routinely. Drop a sub. Peace.